Hello. So I'm running around in the procedurally generated world I'm working on, and I started thinking, normally all I do is game development. What if I wanted to make an app, like just for fun? There's some products out there that you can use to easily start making apps for iOS and Android today, like Flutter and Expo. So I'm going to set up a test project just for fun using Expo. Follow along, you can just go to Google and type in Expo get started and click on this first link for create your first app. So we got some prerequisites. If you want to test your app on your physical device, you need to download the Expo Go app from the App Store on that device. Then we want to install Node.js from their website. So go ahead and do that. And then we're going to want an IDE to code with, so we're just going to use VS Code. So once you have all those installed, open up your terminal and go into whatever folder you want your project folder to be in. Now we're going to run npx create expo app at latest and then our app name. I'll hit Y to proceed. Okay, it says your project is ready. This will create an app using Expo's default template. If you know what you're doing and you want an almost completely empty app to start from scratch with, you can just add --template blank to the end of that command. So now that we've created our project, we can run our app by going into the app folder and running npx expo start. That's going to start Metro Bundler, and now our app is running using Expo Go. And if you want to see your app using your physical device, you can just scan this QR code using the Expo Go app. Otherwise, you can use an Android or iOS emulator on your computer to view and interact with your app. So to do this, go to Expo's Android Studio Emulator Setup Guide on their website, link in the description. Or for iOS, you go to their iOS Simulator Setup Guide. For Android, it'll have you install the Android Studio at some point, or for iOS, it'll have you install Xcode for developer features. So if you've gone through the Android or iOS emulator setup, after we run npx expo start and Metro Bundler is running like this, we can press A to open the Android emulator, or I to open the iOS simulator. So now the Android emulator is just going to start up. Sometimes you'll get an error, but you can just press A again and reset everything. Now it's installing Expo Go on the emulated Android. Cool, so now the default app is running on my emulator. So now we're going to want to start doing some coding to make this app whatever we want. And that's what we downloaded VS Code earlier for. So let's go ahead and open up VS Code. And then we'll do open folder and open our app folder. So here you can see all the contents of our app. And we can start customizing our app by modifying all these TypeScript files, which are the .tsx extensions. So what you're going to want to learn for coding your app is JavaScript and TypeScript, which is basically type-specific JavaScript, and then React Native, which is an app design framework built with and for JavaScript. And then you're going to want to learn basic UI design principles like components, props, states, context. Once you've gotten a good grasp on UI design, you're going to want to start looking into navigation, APIs, and backend development. In simple terms, you're just going to want to learn some of the language and usage of React Native and JavaScript. Then learn about the basic elements of UI design. Then learn how to navigate between those elements. And then start working on the brain of your app, which is your backend. Your backend runs behind the scenes, usually on a separate server somewhere else, to serve your front-end UI with data. So lastly, I'll show you this example app I made. You can see I have this tab bar at the bottom. I got a simple home screen. an inventory screen that I can sort, filter. I can use this search bar. I can also add, delete, and edit inventory items. Then I have this wish list tab in case you wanted to add stuff that you'd like to buy eventually and work into your budget. Same thing here. Then I have this accounts page that lets you link finance accounts using the Plaid API. This is how you would log in. Just logging in real quick. I have it set up so you log into this dummy account for the time being. And there you go, I've added a new account. And here you can see I have a basic skeleton of a budget page. Got a sidebar menu. So you can see any actions I take, like deleting this account, or deleting this wishlist item, sends a request to my backend server, which just has a simple Mongoose database for storing data and serving it back to the front end. I hope this was interesting for some of you and helps you figure out how to branch out your coding abilities into other things like making apps. If you want to know how I designed my procedurally generated world at the beginning of the video, I have a tutorial series on YouTube showing you how to do that. Thanks for watching.